I finished watching the Loki series and naturally I had to crochet a croki immediately. Yeah, my bad. This is actually a Loki. Croki is the one back here. Hello everyone and welcome to Skein Spider. Today we are going to be crocheting a croki or a Loki, if that's what you prefer. Have you guys seen any of the Marvel Disney series yet? If so, what do you think of them? Personally, the only one I've seen so far is Loki because I've been a little bit burnt out on the whole superhero genre the last few years, but I did enjoy it and obviously I liked croki. But with that, let's get on with the pattern. Just before we begin today, a quick heads up. As I was filming this tutorial, I was at the tail end of a cold, so I apologise in advance for both my voice and for any of the disgusting sniffly noises I managed to miss in the editing process. But if you can look past that, I hope you enjoy this pattern. Grab your hooks and let's get started. To make this pattern, you're going to need both a 3 and a 3.5mm hook, scissors, stitch markers, a needle, pins, stuffing, a pair of safety eyes, a pipe cleaner, and yarn in colours of your choice. The head, body and tail are crocheted as one continuous piece, and we're going to start with our 3.5mm hooks, and we're going to put 6 single crochet in a magic circle. Round 2 is 6 increases, and that's just 2 single crochet in each stitch from round 1. Round 3 starts with 3 single crochet. And 3, and then after that third single crochet we're going to do 3 increases in a row. Then to finish the round, all we're going to do is repeat that pattern again. We're going to do 3 single crochet and then 3 increases. Before we start round 4, what I would recommend you do is to grab 4 stitch markers, because in round 4 we're going to be using some chains to create nostrils. And when you do this, it can be a little bit difficult in round 5 to see which stitches you need to be working into. So what I do is I mark out those stitches, so then when I am crocheting round 5, I can easily see the stitches that need to be worked into. It's a little bit less confusing that way. So what we're going to do is have our stitch markers ready, and then we're going to begin round 4 with 4 single crochet. For the next stitch, we're going to be working in the front loop only. So that is this part of the stitch that's closest to us, the one here. So you're going to go into the front loop and single crochet. And then after that single crochet, you're going to chain 2. 1 and 2. And what we're doing is sort of a half or a mini picot stitch, so rather than chaining 3 we're chaining 2, and then we're going to be working into the back bump of the first chain. The back bump is the little bump of yarn that's at the back of your work here. So if you look at your chains from front on, they should look like little V's. If you flip those over, there is a bump behind the chain. This is the back bump. This is where we want to work into. So find your first chain, flip it over, and you want to go into the back bump. Once you've gone through the back bump, you're going to single crochet again. And then before we go on to the rest of round 4, you're going to take one of these stitch markers that you have, and you're going to place it into the back loop of this stitch that we've just worked into. So stitch number 5, we worked into the front loop here. You're going to place the stitch marker in the back loop. After you've done that picot stitch, we're then going to do 11 single crochet in a row. So you're going to work into the next stitch, And this single crochet is where I'm going to be placing my second stitch marker, just because when it comes time to crochet round 5, we're going to be working along here, back into the back loop, and then we're going to jump forward again into this single crochet. And because we've used chains, it can be a little bit difficult to see which one we need to work into. So that was stitch number 1, 2, and 11. And now we're going to create another nostril. We're going to go into the front loop of the next stitch, chain 2, single crochet into the back bump of the first chain, and then I'm going to place a stitch marker in the back loop just so I can see it. And then to finish round 4, we've got to do 1 single crochet, and you don't really need to put a stitch marker into this one because it is the last stitch of the round. So if you've got a stitch marker in the first stitch, it's fairly easy to work out which one you're going to be needing to work into. But if you want to place this final stitch marker there to mark your place, you absolutely can. And now we're going to start round 5. We're going to begin with 4 single crochet. Now both rounds 5 and 6 are just 18 single crochet around, but because we'll be working into the back loops from the nostrils, round 5 can be a little bit tricky. So we'll be doing that together. So we start with 4 single crochet and 4. And then stitch number 5 is going to be into the back loop that we marked out with our first stitch marker. So you take that out and single crochet into that back loop, that's stitch 5. And then for stitch number 6, we're going to be jumping back into using both loops. So our next stitch is going to be where we've placed our second stitch marker. So you're going to take that out and remember which one it is, and then we're going to go into that for stitch number 6. Now at this point, it is possible that your little nostril will end up on the wrong side of your work, so it might be sticking out the back here. If that happens, you want to push it out until it is poking out from the front of your work, so where the right sides of the stitches are. So if you look at it from the top, it should be pointing out from the front of your work. You're going to continue single crocheting until we reach the second nostril. Okay, so I've done the 11 single crochet between the nostrils. For the next stitch, again, we want to be working into the back loop, so that would be where our third stitch marker is. Take that out, and then we're going to single crochet into that. And then our final stitch, stitch 18, is going to be our very last stitch in the round. So it's the stitch to the right of where we've marked the start of our round. So we're just going to single crochet into that for stitch 18. And that's round 5. Round 6 is also 18 single crochet, and this will be made a little bit easier because we don't have to stop and work into any back loops. Round 7 is 8 single crochet and an increase repeated twice. Both rounds 8 and 9 are 20 single crochet. Round 10 is 9 single crochet, 1 increase repeated twice. Rounds 11 and 12 are both 22 single crochet. Round 13 is 10 single crochet and an increase repeated twice. Round 14 begins with 1 single crochet, 1 increase repeated 5 times. After that 5th increase, we're going to do 12 single crochet. After you've done that 12th single crochet, you should have 2 stitches left, and we're just going to do 1 single crochet, 1 increase in those. After round 14, there should be 30 stitches in your round, and then round 15 is just going to be 30 single crochet. Round 16 begins with 1 increase. And then we're going to do 8 single crochet. After the 8th single crochet, we're going to do another increase. And then we're going to finish round 16 with 20 single crochet. Round 17 is 1 single crochet, 1 increase, 8 single crochet, 1 increase, and then 21 single crochet. Round 18 is 2 single crochet and an increase, then 8 single crochet and an increase, and finish off the round with 22 single crochet. After round 18, there should now be 36 stitches in your round, and then rounds 19 through to 22 are just going to be 36 single crochet each. For round 23, we're going to do 1 single crochet, 1 decrease 6 times. Now, to do a decrease or an invisible decrease, you're going to go under the front loops of the next 2 stitches. So I've done the first single crochet and now I'm doing my decrease. Once you've gone under those front loops, yarn over and pull through both of them. This will leave you with 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through both of those loops. And then we're just going to continue on doing the rest of the pattern. After that 6th decrease, we're going to do 18 single crochet to finish off the round. Round 24 is 30 single crochet. At the end of round 24, take out your hook and secure your end because we're going to first add the safety eyes and then we're going to begin stuffing. Grab your safety eyes. I'm using 14mm for this guy, but if you prefer to use a larger or smaller size, you absolutely can do that. Now, where we're going to place the eyes is, firstly, lay your head on the table so you're looking at it from front on. And then we're going to find where we stack the increases in rounds 16, 17 and 18. So I can see they're sort of here and here. What you want to do is just pinch those together to create a little indent beneath them. So as you can see on each side, hopefully, there's an indent here and here. And we're going to place the eyes in those indents. So where exactly you place them between the rounds is going to depend on what size you're using. So I would recommend that you place them first. And then once you've placed them in, just have a look at your little crock here and see if you need to move them. So I'm looking at it from front on now, so they seem fairly even. But I think this one needs to go up slightly, so I'm going to move it up one stitch. Alright, and I think that looks pretty good. So when you like how they sit, you can place the backs on. And then when that's done, we're going to begin adding some stuffing to the snout and the front half of the head. And just before we begin, if your head has lost its shape, so before we put the eyes in, we pinched it here to create the indent. If that has moved because of the stuffing, don't worry about it, because later on we're actually going to shape the head properly and more permanently. So don't worry about that for now. We're going to continue on with round 25, which begins with 6 decreases, and then follow that with 18 single crochet. For round 26, we're going to begin with 7 single crochet. After that 7th single crochet, we're going to do 3 increases in a row. We're going to follow this with 9 single crochet. And then we're just going to finish off the round with 2 single crochet. Round 27 also begins with 7 single crochet. And then we're going to repeat 1 single crochet, 1 increase 3 times. After the 3rd increase, we're going to do 9 single crochet. And after that 9th single crochet, we're going to repeat 1 single crochet, 1 increase 3 times again. And then we're just going to do 2 single crochet to finish off. And 2. Round 28 is just 36 single crochet. Round 29 is 11 single crochet, 1 increase repeated 3 times. After round 29, there should now be 39 stitches in your round, and then rounds 30 through to 44 are going to be 39 single crochet. So 15 rounds of just single crochet. When round 44 is done, you can take out your hook and secure that end, and we're going to continue stuffing. Round 45 is 11 single crochet and 1 decrease repeated 3 times. Rounds 46 through to 48 are 36 single crochet. Round 49 is 10 single crochet, 1 decrease repeated 3 times. Both rounds 50 and 51 are 33 single crochet. Round 52 is a 9 single crochet, 1 decrease, done 3 times. Round 53 is 30 single crochet, and then when we've finished that, we're just going to add a little bit more stuffing. Round 54 is 13 single crochet and a decrease repeated twice. Round 55 is 28 single crochet. Round 56 is 12 single crochet and a decrease repeated twice. Round 57 is 26 single crochet. Round 58 is 11 single crochet and decrease repeated twice. Round 59 is 24 single crochet. Round 60 is 10 single crochet and a decrease repeated twice. Round 61 is 22 single crochet. Round 62 is 9 single crochet and a decrease repeated twice. Round 63 is 20 single crochet, and then after that we're just going to stop and add a little bit more stuffing. After stuffing, we're going to continue on with round 64, which is 8 single crochet, 1 decrease repeated twice. Round 65 is 18 single crochet. Round 66 is 7 single crochet and a decrease repeated twice. Round 67 is 16 single crochet. Round 68 is 6 single crochet and a decrease repeated twice. Round 69 is 14 single crochet. Round 70 is 5 single crochet and a decrease repeated twice. Round 71 is 12 single crochet, and then after that we're just going to take another stuffing break. Round 72 begins with a decrease, and then we're going to finish the round with 10 single crochet. Round 73 is 11 single crochet. Round 74 is 1 decrease and 9 single crochet. Round 75 is 10 single crochet. Round 76 is 1 decrease and 8 single crochet. Round 77 is 9 single crochet. Round 78 is 1 decrease and then 7 single crochet. Round 79 is 8 single crochet. When you've finished round 79, we're just going to stop and add the final bit of stuffing to the tail. Our final round is round 80, and we're going to do 2 single crochet, 1 decrease repeated twice. To finish off, we're just going to cut a short tail, and then you're going to want to grab your needle. Thread the tail end through the needle. And then to close up this little hole, we're going to go under the front loops of each of the last 6 stitches. So you're going to start from behind the front loop and go under 1, and 6, and then just pull on that yarn and the hole will close. And then all we're going to do is weave this tail end back into the body to secure it. Snip off the excess, and there we go. Our next step is going to be to shape the eyes. So what we're going to do is cut a length of yarn in the body colour, so whatever that may be for you, and you're going to thread that through your needle. And then you're going to take your needle and insert it into a stitch on one side of the head. So you can insert it into the right side or the left side, doesn't really matter. And it doesn't matter exactly which stitch you go into, just make sure that it's not too close to the eye. So I'm going to go into this stitch here, and then from there you're going to push your needle through the head to the opposite side, and you want to emerge from just above the eye. So you want to get the needle under the safety eye, or as close to that as you can. And then you're just going to pull through As you're pulling through, watch this opposite side because we want to leave a tail of yarn hanging outside the head. So we want to make sure that doesn't pull right through, so you can just hang on to that. When that's done, you're then going to go one stitch over and insert your needle into there. Again, you want this to be as close to the safety eye as possible. And you're going to push that into that stitch. Come on, there we go. And from there, you're going to go across the head once more. And see where we did this first stitch near this first eye here? We want to go out in roughly the same spot on this eye here. So I'm going to push my needle across the head and emerge. There we go. As close to the safety eye as possible. And then I'm just going to pull on that yarn, and as I do that you can see it's starting to pull the eye inwards. It's making a dent in the head. So we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to go one stitch over, though I think I went in this direction. So I'm going to go down, and then I'm going to go out the opposite side of the head. Now this time I'm not going near the eye. I'm going to do what I did originally. Just go out of a stitch on the head that's not too close to the eye. So I'm going to go out this way. And then I'm going to pull both on the tail end that I left originally and this side of the yarn that I've just weaved through the head. So pull, and as you can see, both sides are starting to pull in. Now how far you want to pull this in is entirely up to you. So just keep pulling on both sides until you're happy with the placement, and also you want to get them even, so I need to pull on this side a little bit more. There we go. And then from there I'm going to go back into this stitch, straight across the head and out of the original stitch where my tail is. I'm going to do a final check to make sure that my eyes are roughly even, and then if they are, just tie off these two ends, and then we're going to push that knot back into the body, or you could also always grab your crochet hook and pull it in like that. And then another thing you can do, I'm just using the rest of the tail left over from the eyes, but if you need to, just cut another length. I'm going to pull the forehead in a little bit, so just to create a bit of a dent here. So we're going to use the same method, but this time I'm going into the bottom of the head. And I'm going to emerge from roughly between the eyes. Again, leave a tail, and I'm going to go one stitch over, out the bottom of the head, and then I'm going to pull on that. Now that was one stitch. Now if you want to continue this dent, what you're going to do, which I'm going to do once more, is go back into the head and then back through the last stitch we did. So this one, come on here, and repeat that again. So I'm going to jump one stitch forward, and this time, because I'm only doing this twice, I'm going to go out of the original stitch where my tail is, and then pull on both of those until I'm happy with how the indent looks. Again, if you want to continue this right down the snout, you can, but I'm just going to do two and tie those off. Our next step is going to be to add the ridges along the back. So what you want to do is grab your pins so you can mark out where you want those ridges to sit and how many you want. So I'm going to be doing 3. But you can do 1, you can do 2, you can do 4, whatever you think looks best. So I'm going to start at the top here, and you can probably see I've already marked out my 2 outer ridges, but now I'm going to mark out the center one. So I'm just going to place some pins in a line down the body to mark out where I'm going to crochet those ridges. When that's done, you want to grab your 3mm hook, so we're dropping down half a size, and whatever colour yarn you're going to be using to create the ridges. I'm just using a darker shade of green. And then we're going to go to this first ridge, find the stitch where you want to start, and you're going to insert your hook through it. And you're going to pull that through the stitch, and then join with a slip stitch. When you do this, make sure the tail end you leave is long enough that you can weave it in later. For the ridges, all we're going to be doing is repeating 1 single crochet, 1 picot stitch all the way along. So to start, we're going to go into the same stitch that we just joined and slip stitched into, and we're going to do our first single crochet. And then in the next stitch, so we're going to go across one, we're going to begin with a single crochet. And then to do the picot stitch, we're going to chain 3. We do this the same way that we did the nostrils, except for those we chained 2 to begin. For the actual picot stitch, we're chaining 3. So from this point, you want to go into the back bump of the first chain. And single crochet. And from there, we're just going to single crochet across the next stitch. Single crochet. There we go, and picot stitch again. So start with the single crochet. Chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Single crochet into the back bump. And single crochet in the next stitch. And you're going to repeat this all the way along until you reach the end. And then once we reach that point, I will come back and show you how to weave in your ends. When you're finished, just snip the yarn, and then all we're going to do is, for each ridge that we've made, thread the tail ends through our needle and then weave those back into the body. Grab your 3.5mm hook and your body colour yarn, and we're going to begin with 6 single crochet in a magic circle. Round 2 is 6 increases. In round 3, we're going to be creating the little claws here. So we're going to begin with 3 single crochet. Come on. And then I'm just going to put a stitch marker in that first stitch. 1, 2, and 3. And then for the next 6 stitches, we're going to be working in the front loop only. In the first front loop, so the next stitch, we're just going to do a single crochet. And then in the next front loop, we're going to do a picot stitch, which we have used previously a couple of times in the body. So you're going to begin by going into the front loop and doing a single crochet and then chaining 3. 1, 2, and 3. After this, we're going to work into the back bump of the first chain and single crochet again, And that's our picot stitch. In the next stitch, still in the front loop, we're just going to do a single crochet. And we're just repeating that pattern we did. 1 single crochet, 1 picot stitch, and we're going to do that 3 times in total. So we've done our second single crochet, do your second picot stitch. And still working in the front loops, we're going to do another another single crochet and then another picot stitch. After this third picot stitch, you should have 3 stitches left, and we're going to single crochet into all 3 of those. However, this time we're going back to working in both loops. And 3. Both rounds 4 and 5 are 12 single crochet, but round 4 is going to be a little bit different because we're going to need to work into the back loops left from round 3. So start with 3 single crochet as normal, and 3, and then I'll get rid of this tail so we can see a little bit easier. And then the 4th stitch is going to be into that first front loop, so you should be able to see 6 back loops. We worked into the front loops before, so you should be able to see 6 back loops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and we're going to work into these next. So that's 4 and 9, and then the final 3 stitches of the round are going to be worked into those stitches where we worked into the back loop again from round 3, so the final 3 single crochet that we did. 2 and 3. And round 5 is just going to be 12 single crochet. Round 6 is 3 single crochet and 1 increase repeated 3 times. And then both round 7 and 8 are 15 single crochet, or you can do 30 single crochet consecutively. We're just going to slip stitch to finish and then leave a tail for sewing. Next we're going to be making the helmet, and for that you want to grab your 3mm hook. Now the helmet is going to be made up of 3 parts. We have 2 horns and the base of the helmet, and we're going to start with the horns, and also you're going to need your pipe cleaner or a bit of wiring if you want to give it the shape. So we're going to start off with 4 single crochet in a magic circle. Round 2 is just going to be 4 single crochet. And if your work is a bit turned inside out, you want to go and turn it the right way, so the right sides of your stitches are on the outside. And then I'm going to just get rid of this so it's not in my way. Round 3 is 1 increase followed by 3 single crochet. Round 4 is 5 single crochet. Round 5 is an increase followed by 4 single crochet. For both rounds 6 and 7, we're going to do 6 single crochet. However, you can just do 12 single crochet in a row if you like. Round 8 is an increase and then 5 single crochet. Rounds 9 and 10 are both 7 single crochet. Round 11 is an increase and 6 single crochet. And then rounds 12 and 13 are both 8 single crochet. Round 13 is the final round, so when you're finished, just slip stitch and then leave a tail for sewing. And then we're just going to take our pipe cleaner, and I'm folding mine in half, and then just insert that into the horn, and then just cut off any of the parts that are sticking out like this. For the base of the helmet, we're still using our 3mm hooks, and we're going to begin with 6 single crochet in a magic circle. Round 2 is 6 increases. Round 3 is 1 single crochet, 1 increase repeated 6 times. Round 4 is just 18 single crochet. And our 5th and final round is just 2 single crochet, 1 increase repeated 6 times. Finish off with a slip stitch and leave a tail for sewing. The first thing we're going to do at the assembly stage is to sew the horns to the base of the helmet. You're going to line up the horns either side of round 1, so you can see round 1 here. I've joined this one off to the left, and I'm just going to put this one off to the right. When you finish sewing on the horns, we're just going to tie off this end. So I'm going to weave my needle through the backs of the stitches of the base, and then just tie it off. And it doesn't matter if this is a little bit messy, because this part's going to be sewn down and no one will see it. We're going to set the helmet aside for now and go on to the legs. So we're going to flip our croc upside down. You want to add just a little bit of stuffing to the legs at this stage, because what we'll be doing is sewing them on for most of the way and then adding the rest of the stuffing after that, because if you add too much stuffing at this point, it can make them a little bit difficult to sew on. Alrighty, after that's done, you'll want to grab your pins. And the exact round placement of the legs doesn't matter too much. What you're really aiming for is balance. So obviously we're going to have 2 at the front and 2 at the back. But if you start with 1, and then I'm going to place the hind leg on. The next step is going to be to line up the legs on the other side with those that we've just put on. When you've pinned all the legs down, then what you're going to do is just flip your croc over and set it on a flat surface and see if it balances. If your croc's a little bit wobbly, you're going to have to unpin some of the legs and move them around a bit. But if you're nice and balanced, you're good to go. So you're going to flip croc back over and begin sewing on the legs. Now that I've sewn most of the leg on, I'm just going to add a little bit more stuffing. Alright, and we're just going to continue sewing, and then we're going to repeat this process on the other 3 legs. When you finish sewing on all 4 legs, the final thing we need to do is sew on the helmet. So you're going to pin that in place on the top of the head, and then we're just going to begin sewing that. And then we're just going to shape the horns, and we are finished. Thank you all for watching. If you like this pattern, consider subscribing, and I will see you all next week with a new one.